Item B, adopt resolution approving form and authorizing execution and delivery the purchase and sale agreement and related documents with respect to the sale of the Proposition 1A receivable from the state and directing and authorizing certain other actions in conjunction therewith. And Mr. O'Leary.
Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, at the time the City Council was considering the city's own budget back in May and June of this year, there was extensive discussion about the potential impacts to this city and other cities in California on actions that the state might be taking in order to address their own budget issues. Back on August 25th, again, the council was briefed on some specific adverse actions that the state took in adopting their budget, impacting both the city's redevelopment agency and the city's general fund. I'm here tonight to suggest action the council could take related to one of those matters, and that is the $829,000 that the city will be losing in property tax revenue to the state this year. First, I just might mention that for the redevelopment agency, the state is proposing to take about $2 billion from redevelopment agencies in California in this fiscal year and the next fiscal year. The San Bruno redevelopment agency proportionate share of that $2 billion amounts to about $1.9 million in this current fiscal year, and additional $350,000 next year. There is the redevelopment taking is not covered through Proposition 1A that was passed by the voters in 2004. So there is no fallback at this point besides legal action that is contemplated and is very close to being filed by the California Redevelopment Association to benefit the redevelopment agencies in that area. The particular item before you is again the taking of property tax that is actually covered under Proposition 1A, again approved by the voters several years ago, which allows for the state to borrow for a 3-year period some portion, 8% of an agency's property tax. Again, for San Bruno, and based on the calculation by the State Department of Finance, it comes to about $829,000 out of about $5.5 million that the city would normally anticipate receiving in property tax. In working with the League of California Cities and the Association of Governments, the legislature actually did come up with a plan under Proposition 1A that would allow for this borrowing to actually be financed. And what is happening is when the property tax will be taken from the city, the normal accounting would be for the city to create an accounts receivable for that money, because it is a loan and would be expected to be paid back no later than June 2013. So we would set up a receivable on our books. What this program allows is for us to actually sell that receivable and get the funds immediately. And the California Statewide Community Development Authority would actually be buying these receivables. They would in turn issue bonds, almost like tax anticipation notes. They would be issuing bonds that then would be paid directly by the state when these funds are repaid with interest in 2013. So the city would essentially be made whole it's not a discounted amount. There was a similar financing several years ago, and I say similar for motor vehicle money when the state took motor vehicle money. In that instance, there was a discount where the city got about 97% of the total. But in this case, the city will receive 100%. There is no adverse impact on our credit rating, on our debt limit. If the state doesn't repay for whatever reason, for any reason, the bondholders, that does not impact the city of San Bruno. There's not a continuing obligation on the city of San Bruno's part. Now, the representations for those statements that I just made, the legal firm Orrick, Harrington, Sutcliffe is actually the transaction counsel for this matter, and they have acted as similar to bond counsel as a transaction counsel, and they are the ones doing the due diligence and representing the facts that I just stated. So it would be, I think San Bruno is in a position because of the, while limited, we do have some reserves. We could in fact leave this receivable probably on the books for the 3 years and get paid 3 years from now, plus the interest that is about 2% that would be paid. So I think that is a choice clearly that the council could have. I would believe because of the literally no fault and that we are getting 100% of the money now, that would seem to me to be my recommendation. So with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions the council has.
Questions from council? Councilman Aguirre?
To the chair. So the bottom line is that who's ever financing this will reap the benefits of the interest.
The bondholders, in essence, will be getting the interest that's paid by the state of California.
And you keep referring that we're getting, but it's ours already, right? It's supposed to be ours. It's just that the state was not going to forward it to us. They were going to withhold it.
I only reference getting
Yeah.
to the extent that the property tax will actually be withheld. The first payment will be withheld in December when we get our first property tax payment, and we will be getting our first reimbursement from the authority in January. So there will be actually, the money will be taken and we'll lose it for a month, and then we'll get it. And again, similarly in April with the property tax payment, we'll lose it for a month and we'll be paid in May, and then we will have 100% in May. So there'll really just be a month period where we wouldn't have it.
And that's the only difference. We wouldn't be making any more money even if there wasn't going to be a taking.
That's correct,
Right.
except if they took the 829,000 June of 2013, we get the 829 plus 2% interest back 3 years from now.
Unless there was other legislation that stated that that it would be delayed or something.
Unless the state took some action, which they've taken adverse
They've done
actions
before.
for
But
10 years now.
You will have the cash, and so you certainly have the earning capability during the 3 years while you have the cash.
Correct, correct.
I would think it's be foolish not to take the cash in light of the state's current situation. Somebody next year might find there's another deficit and need to extend that out some.
Yeah, cities, counties, and special districts, anyone that's losing property tax is eligible for this program. The last I had seen, 770 agencies had enrolled. They hadn't taken action yet. We're kind of one of the first ones. All the documentation just came out last week, and so we're one of the first ones to have it before the council. The other thing I might mention again is the Orrick is the transaction counsel. The documents and the agreement that is in front of you, we were advised that no word can be changed, no format can be modified. We left it in the same font size. They said not to touch anything if you're going to approve it. So the documents will be signed precisely as they were submitted by the transaction counsel.
Through the chair. If I may, I just have a quick question. When we referred to redevelopment, what happens to the pass-throughs? In other words, if the state is going to take 1.9 million, are the pass-throughs reduced on a pro rata basis, or do those pass-through agencies still become whole?
The pass-through agencies still become whole. The calculation, again, for the $2 billion, what the state is using is the gross tax increment of all agencies for the 2006-2007 year. And it is not net of pass-through. Pass-through agencies will be made whole. So it is on the net. it leaves a 200 for this year. It leaves a 1.9 taking from the city, with the still full obligation for all of the pass-through basic aid and the memorandum of understanding with the county that our agency has. So all of those will be made whole, besides the loss of the 1.9 from our agency.
Okay.
Any other questions, staff? If not, action from council?
Through the
Chair,
chair.
I'd like to introduce a resolution for adoption.
Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Ruane.
Aye.
Councilmember Medina.
Aye.
Councilmember Ibera.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Connell. Mayor Franzella.
Aye.